One's a Chiefs fan, the other's a Pats fan, and together they make Primetime Dimes.
What's up, my fellow football fanatics? Welcome back to episode 3 of Primetime Dimes, your weekly source for surviving the offseason and breaking down the headlines during the season. I'm one of your hosts, Chelsea, and alongside me is Megan. Hey, Megan.
Hey! So you must be super excited about what literally just broke, 2 days ago now, with the Chiefs now acquiring Orlando Brown, who was playing for the Ravens before. He's an offensive lineman, which you guys seriously lacked in the Super Bowl this past year.
Yes.
So how are you doing with that?
Oh, I'm so happy. That was such a good move because it was going to be hard to pick someone up like him in the draft. So I think that was great on them for grabbing him in the free agency. And like with him and Joe Thuney, I think it's like pretty complete now. I'm not too worried anymore about our O-line. So I'm excited to see what we go for in the draft because like I'm really not sure what we'll take now.
Yeah, so just to make sure it's clear, Orlando Brown, he was actually traded from the Ravens to the Chiefs. The Chiefs gave up just a bunch of draft picks and swapped the first round. The two first rounders that each team had, they just swapped. So instead of picking 31st, the Chiefs are picking, I think, up at 15. They're picking higher up in the draft. So that's really, really interesting for, reverse that. The Chiefs are drafting further in the draft.
I'm trying to look at it. Yeah, we don't have a first round draft anymore. I don't think we have a first round pick anymore.
Yes.
So we gave it to Baltimore. Yeah.
Yes, so I just managed to make that more confusing. Awesome. Basically, you guys gave
up myself.
Yeah, basically you guys gave up draft picks and you got an offensive lineman who is definitely going to fill a major gap in your last year's Super Bowl team. And then good old Joe's coming over from the Patriots to you guys, which, oh, you should be so happy. He was just the pinnacle of consistency. You knew what you were getting from him every week and you could rely on him. And as much as it pains me to say it, that is so big for Mahomes. Mahomes is going to have just significantly more time. I'm so excited.
In the Super Bowl, he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. He had no one to protect him. There was just so much pressure on him. So I'm really happy to see that they are like, okay, we need to fix this. And they did. So
yeah, and I'm glad they didn't wait to play out the draft because while there are some good offensive linemen in the draft, what the Chiefs need, or what I think the Chiefs need as someone who isn't as big of a fan as you are, is they need that offensive lineman to be ready to play and make a difference now. And while your first rounders are most likely making the team and making a difference right off the bat, with where you guys were picking, there is always a chance that the offensive lineman that you do pick up might not be NFL ready or might not be Chiefs ready. It might be a different system.
Yeah, we didn't want to chance it.
Yeah, it's just such a great pickup for them. But we've seen quite a few major pickups in free agency so far. Like watching Andy Dalton get traded.
Oh. Will he start? Do you think they're going to hold up that promise to have him start as their quarterback?
I do think that Andy Dalton will be the quarterback of the Chicago Bears at the start of this upcoming season. Is he the quarterback at the end of this upcoming season? No, probably not. Unfortunately for Dalton, I just think the Bears are going to have to make a play eventually for a quarterback that is their future quarterback. And if they were already heavily considering Russell Wilson when there was the rumor that Russell Wilson from the Seahawks was going to be available for QB.
I think he'll stay in Seattle. I don't see him moving.
I don't think he moves either. I think Team 3 wants him to move, but he doesn't want to move. But yeah, no, I think he's the starter for the Chicago Bears in just over, 3-4 months? I don't know what month we are right now. Yeah, exactly.
We'll see what they pick up in the draft because you never know. They might make a a quick move and grab a quarterback. 'Cause we got a big quarterback class coming into the draft this year. So I'm surprised that they would try and go for, a mediocre quarterback when there's just so much talent coming in.
Well, they're only picking 20th, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
the major quarterbacks, and we'll cover the major draft quarterbacks later on in the show. I don't see any of those ones falling to 20th overall, and unless Chicago wanted to make a play to move up in the draft, there
Yeah.
wasn't going to be any available quarterback for them that was better than Andy Dalton.
That's fair.
Andy Dalton is not a bad quarterback, but
He comes with the experience.
he's just at that awkward period where he's older, not super old, but he is an older quarterback, and so you're not necessarily going to build for the future around him. No offense to him, not that he
It'll
cares.
do good. He's like a little just like a quick fix for the season.
Absolutely agree
It was
with that.
was it just a 1-year contract? I don't remember how many years he signed for.
All I saw was 1 year.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think they plan on keeping him past that year then, unless he miraculously does amazing.
Maybe, and I kind of hope so. That would be awesome to see.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal to see.
Like
Jesus.
he had a really unfortunate season last year when he was playing with the Dallas Cowboys, where
I mean, he only got that because Dak.
yeah, exactly what
destroyed
I was
his
going to say
ankle.
was Dak got absolutely destroyed, and then you suddenly had Andy Dalton thrust into the starter role, and he didn't always shine. Now he got left out to dry, like hung out to dry by the O-line at Dallas multiple times. So you can't really use last season or as an indicator for his performance this season. I do think Andy Dalton's a starter in September.
Yeah, and with Dak coming back, he got paid this year. Like, obviously, Andy's not going to start there again, so obviously he's going to want to leave. So,
Yeah. Do you think Dak got overpaid? So he got 4 years, $160 million. Not all
that's
guaranteed,
a lot
but
of money.
do you pay Dak that? If you're the owner of, if you're Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, do you pay him that?
As the owner of Dallas, no, I think that's ridiculous because they need more than just a quarterback there. But do I think Dak Prescott deserved that money? Absolutely. He definitely deserves that. I still understand why he would stay on a team when he could do so. Like, he's an amazing quarterback. He does phenomenal every year, and then his team just leaves him hanging to dry. And it sucks to watch year and year again. I don't know how my dad does it as a Dallas fan. I couldn't stand it. But I would, if I were Dak, I would do what's best for my game and not what's best for, maybe building a brand in Dallas or trying to build up this team that's been rebuilding for years and years and years. Like, why wouldn't you just go somewhere where you can just fit in and do amazing?
I honestly think you touched on it, and we spoke when this news broke about this, and I think that it's, first of all, Dallas Cowboys, they're known as America's team, and the quarterback for America's team typically gets great brand deals. CC Tony Romo. He is now a commentator who does a really good job of breaking down plays. And he has made a ton of money off of endorsements, brand deals. And that's what Dak's looking at. He has to plan for his future outside of football, after football. And after the injury we saw him take last season, who knows? We don't know how strong that ankle feels. Like, maybe he will be in pain. Maybe these injuries start to add up. So he got offered a lot of money, $160 million, to play for 4 years. That still means in 4 years, he'll be within his prime and he'll have an option to leave the Dallas Cowboys, go searching for a Super Bowl, or leave for more money after having already established brand contracts. And maybe he wants to get into film. Maybe he wants to get into other things outside of football. And I can't think of actually a better place to be than Dallas when you're a football player. Because America's team, everyone watches. A lot of people hate.
big fan base there
Yeah.
too. So like I'm not surprised that he wanted to stay. I'm just like it just like football sport wise, I didn't think it was a great idea for him to stay there because he is injured unless they do something to fix his protection. He's going to get injured again, and maybe he only plays for another 2 more years and then he's out for good. So
Absolutely. I do think, though, that when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, 4 years is a long time. They have picked up some nice pieces. I mean, CeeDee Lamb appears to be the real deal. He can find separation. He's a really strong wide receiver one option. And what you could probably try and go and get, hopefully, I mean, Jamar Chase, who's a draft eligible player, won't fall to them. But if you could go out and get another wide receiver this year,
he's going
or
to go before 10.
yeah, or
Dallas is 10th.
oh, I know, they're 10th. So maybe Devontae Smith. Maybe you go after the Heisman, winning wide receiver from Alabama. He's small, unfortunately, and so was CeeDee Lamb. So it's
I don't like when people compare their small sizes because
no,
we've
no,
seen
no, not
so
what I'm
many
going
small
with,
wide receivers,
but not what
do
I'm
so
going
well.
with. No, no, no. I don't care about the size and sense that he's small entering the league. I'm talking if you have two small receivers, you normally want a third receiver who's at least tall, so you could play just a different type of ball into the passing zone. I don't care that he's small. Like I think Devontae Smith is going to be a force to reckon with in the NFL. We know small guys can make giant plays. Look at the squirrel in Edelman. It's 100% possible, and people are writing them off way too early.
You're right.
But
They need someone taller.
I would be concerned on the Cowboys only for the sense of, okay, so you have two small guys. You need to get someone taller who's available for the higher balls. Now, Devonta Smith does go up for those balls. Don't get me wrong. But I think he'd do better on a different team. I don't think you go small, second small receiver when you have an offense that you need to elongate the field.
But yeah, I guess it'll depend what Dallas does in the next 4 years while they have Dak. Like if because I don't know if he'll stay after those 4 years or not. I think it'll depend on if he can take them at least past a playoff game.
Yeah, could you imagine the day the Cowboys win a playoff match?
No, stop.
It's going to be
No.
the worst day in my life.
I'm moving out.
Annoying. But it'll be funny to watch because people will lose
all
their
of the
minds.
We won't hear it stop from their fans for like years.
Come on,
Years.
it's like
it won't
Leafs
matter
fans.
how bad they do after that. If they make it to the playoffs and win a playoff game, we won't hear the end of it.
Oh well, we all know it's fake then. Like if they just win one playoff game in the next
like
20
the
years,
Browns.
yeah, you know what, they can talk their talk, but other teams will walk the walk.
But yeah,
Fuck the
other
boys.
quarterbacks moving around in the free agency, we have Carson Wentz leaving the Eagles, going to the Colts. One, excited to watch Carson Wentz play on a new team. Two, excited to see Jalen Hurts start for the Eagles. So it's going to be a great season to watch those two teams play. I'm really excited.
Now Hurts might not be the starter. Remember, technically, no. I think he's going to be the starter, but technically the coach has said he is refusing to name starters until he has seen the competition between all of his players. Now, it's his first year coaching the Eagles. It makes sense. You want to go in, you want to evaluate everything. Yes, Jalen Hurts will be the starting quarterback.
This.
But
This is annoying. Don't make him wait. He's waited a whole season. He had to be on the field with Wentz. Like they wouldn't just take Wentz off the field. It's like, okay, you can go on. Like he'll throw the ball to you, and he's like, I'm a quarterback. Like I just want to see him start. I feel so bad for him because he was so good in college, and now he's just like sitting there, and I'm just like, I want to see you do something.
oh yeah, no, absolutely agree with you there. I just, for sake of accuracy, technically he is not the starter.
He's the starter in my heart.
Yes, he's a starter in heart. But let's talk about Wentz, because Wentz is now going to an offense that I think he's going to excel in. And as much as I hate it, I love it. I just want Wentz to succeed because, my goodness, this dude was MVP. He was such a good player, and then
Come
just
a long way.
just oh my god, I don't know what happened. It's almost like he got worried in the pocket, started seeing ghosts, but
I think so. I think he looked worried too. Like you could tell that he was worried about getting injured. And like, I don't think there's a quarterback that wouldn't feel that way if you had an injury like he did.
yeah. And I mean, that's part of coming back from the injury. You got to get over the mental aspect. You got to start understanding that yes, you're going to get hit, and not every hit's going to cause a massive injury like the one hit.
Yeah. So
But
maybe he's going to feel more protected on the Colts and he'll be more comfortable and be able to make those plays. But like, I have no doubt that like part of that fear is also what made Alex Smith retire. Because I feel like he had a few more seasons in him and he announced his retirement this past week or so too.
yeah, but with Smith, I think it really just came down to the fact that he was ready to be out on the field. His coaches, people who are putting him on the field, have come out all throughout this summer saying that, or this past off season, saying that they were terrified when they put Smith out onto the field. Like you had Ron Rivera, who's the head coach of the Washington football team, who literally said to ESPN, I believe, that he knew that if Alex Smith got injured again, or worse, it cost him his leg or potentially his life, he would never get over that. He would never forgive himself. And it would be all on him because he's the one putting the player on the field. And it's just like, oh, poor Alex Smith. I'm sad to see him go. He was so good. But like Carson
there's
Wentz,
a fear. There's a fear of never being able to play again, getting a concussion, going into a coma, hurting your ankle, losing your leg. Alex Smith almost died because of the infection from his injury. So that is just, there are so many ways that it could go that I understand why not only Alex Smith, but maybe Alex Smith wasn't as scared as everyone else was to put him back on the field.
No, after all the work he put into coming back from that injury, he just wanted to play. But with Wentz, I don't think we're going to see I think we see Wentz return to his previous MVP form. I don't think he's going to be MVP again for
One
the
can
Colts.
hope.
But the head coach of the Colts was his old offensive lineman when he was doing so well that, this could be a match made in heaven. But
Oh, yeah. And then moving on to some non-QB free agency moves. AJ Green, a wide receiver from the Bengals, is going to the Cardinals. So that's another player the Cardinals have, and they just look even more amazing now. I don't know how that's possible, but they are making all the right moves this season or this offseason.
oh, absolutely. I do wish that they had kept a couple more players on defense.
That might be where they fault.
Or there's still plenty of off season left to go. They might bolster it in the draft. They might, make a trade for it. So it's not all set in stone. September's still a ways away. But everyone's saying this is the hot team in my. I agree with them. This will be fun to watch.
It's going to be.
I don't know their
defense.
defense. I don't.
This reminds me
know.
of the year the Browns got everyone when they got like
OBJ,
OBJ and
Beckham Jr.
Yeah, and when they got all those flashy players, and I was like, I'm so excited to watch the Browns play this year. And then, they just crap the bed like they usually do. But I'm really excited to watch the Cardinals play this year. I feel like they've just been like
Me too.
climbing up every year. And like, I think this is the year, like, this is like, they're like determined to make this is their Super Bowl run. Like, I could see it.
Yeah.
I can see it. I'm not saying it's
agree.
going to happen, but I can see it.
Well, no, I said I agree there, but actually that's a complete lie. I don't think it will be this year. I think they're building towards it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see a very
There's
strong.
momentum.
Exactly. They're like the Ravens to me in terms of I don't think even next year the Ravens and the Cardinals are going to get to the championship game or the Super Bowl. I don't see that happening. But I do see them being very, very, very fun to watch. And they potentially finish second, third in their conference and have to go through. They won't get a bye. So it will be interesting. It'll be like they're just one step off or it's just almost there. I still think the Chiefs are
they're
to
on
be,
their tail.
like, I still think it's Chiefs Bucks are the ones to beat right now. You can't bet against a Super Bowl winner who kept all their team, and you can't bet against the Chiefs right now. They've just made all the changes that they had needed to since that Super Bowl.
I feel complete.
Yeah, you should.
I feel this is the first time my team has felt complete.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing what they're going to do in the draft. It's always fun. But then you have, I forgot that Phil Lindsay left. He used to play for the Denver Broncos as a running back, and he was let go. How do you feel about that?
I like Philip Lindsay, so I was sad to see him let go. I don't know if he's going to get picked up by another team. I would like to see him get picked up by another team, but so I hope he doesn't fall off the NFL map. But yeah, I don't know if it was a salary cap thing because a lot of teams have been dealing with that issue because there wasn't a lot of revenue this year. There weren't a lot of fans, or like it was hard this year for all the teams. So that's why we're seeing so many moves, is because the cap space is small this year. So yeah. I don't know if it was a cap move. I never really looked into it. I just saw that happened, and yeah, it was a little sad. But I guess things have to happen sometimes. So
yes,
hopefully he gets picked up.
It was a cap issue. He was he was due a decent amount of money, and they couldn't afford to pay it because of the salary cap decreasing.
Well, whoever gets him is going to be lucky if they, actually take him. So
I'm happy he didn't retire. Like Pat Chung, he played safety for the Patriots. He was let go by the Pats, and that was strictly due to salary cap. He is a great safety. He also failed his didn't fail the physical, but was not going to pass the physical. So he ultimately was let go, and it's just casualties of the cap, unfortunately.
So sad.
But I guess it would be now a good time to move over to draft predictions. So after talking about teams making all the changes in the offseason, the teams still have the best opportunity to increase their future and their current teams in the upcoming draft. So you are the draft queen. I don't personally watch the draft all the time. I will watch the first round, absolutely. I want to know who's coming to the Patriots. But after that, I couldn't care less because I don't watch these guys in college as much as you do.
2 years ago, I watched I think it's the first time I actually watched the entire draft because I was determined to watch Benny Snell Jr. get drafted.
I remember that.
That's all I wanted to see that year. I didn't really I didn't even care about my Clemson players that year. I was like, I want to see Benny Snell get drafted. And then at that point, before the draft, me and Raph bought our tickets to go see the Steelers and the Chiefs play.
Oh, yeah.
So when he got drafted, I'm like freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get to see Benny Snell play because we went to a preseason game. So he was on the field. He was playing and I was freaking out. But I am very excited for the draft this year. Lots of Clemson players going in. We have a big QB class.
Yes.
A couple really good wide receivers going in. I'm just blown away by the talent this year. So, I mean, we all know if we're going to look at quarterbacks first, we all know Trevor Lawrence is most likely going to go first. I think that's you could put money on that.
Yeah, he's going first overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He will be their quarterback. He already has their playbook from their coach, Urban Meyer. Oh, yeah, Urban Meyer and him
I didn't know
are good friends. So mysteriously, T-Law has the playbook. He's already learning it.
There were rumors during the season that I think it was the Jaguars that they wanted to get Dabo Sweeney as their head coach because they were at that point they had the second pick and the Jets were going to have the first pick.
Yeah.
This was in the middle of the season. So they were trying to coax Dabo Sweeney. I don't know if this was some rumor I heard, but there was a rumor going around that they were trying to coax Dabo Sweeney to be their coach because they thought, well, if we take Clemson's coach, then Trevor Lawrence will have to come here.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So that was it was this rumor that was the play to get Trevor Lawrence because we all knew he was going to go first and they didn't have the first round pick.
Oh, yeah. I remember when the Jets lost and then that lost them the first round pick or their first overall pick. Yep. And I just laughed because bye-bye Lawrence.
I'm
But
so happy he's not going to the Jets anymore. I'm so happy.
I'm intrigued as to who's going to the Jets. Like it's likely going to be Zach Wilson, which is so crazy. He came out of nowhere. Now, I'm not knocking the dude. I think he's great quarterback, and from the film that I was watching, he is going to be great with the Jets. He has a lot of options, and he is an accurate thrower. At least at BYU, he was an accurate thrower. But I thought for years, I thought it was going to be Justin Fields. I
Yeah,
know Justin Fields' name.
I think up until Zach Wilson's pro day, everyone thought Justin Fields was going to go second overall, even after the way his season ended. Because like he only played 6 games and took them to a championship. He may have lost the championship, but he still had a great season nonetheless, like regardless of how many games he played.
Yeah.
And then, you had Zach Wilson come and throw that bomb on pro day, just rolling out. And it was nice. I don't know how many times you're actually going to see that in a real NFL game, but it was really cool to see. So
Accuracy, that's all that matters, right?
yeah.
Now, Justin Fields, he's such an interesting quarterback. Personally, I think he should be the second overall. I do think people are starting to overthink these things. Fields has the intangibles. Like, he has high IQ. On the Goldman test, the nerd in me, the neuroscientist in me, of course, I remember this test. But there's a section that's specifically designated for recall. And recall is obviously key to quarterbacks. It's their ability to go through the playbook and be able to, know what the play is when it's being called in through their headset, as well as to look at what the defense is and understand what that defense is going to do to him. Is it a blitz? Is it man coverage? Is it 2 cover deep, which is just safeties back in the backfield? It's so important to have strong recall. Justin Fields,
You're so hyped up about this.
I'm a nerd. But Justin Fields actually has the highest score on the recall section of 60,000 professional athletes.
So do you think that part like gets looked over when people are recruiting?
No, because Mac Jones, the whole reason, and I'm sorry for skipping down to Mac Jones. He is another draft eligible one. But he has been propelled up to people believing he's going 3rd overall to the 49ers because he has photographic memory. This dude only...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so apparently...
No wonder he won the national championship.
This person, Mac Jones, it's so cool. I love the neuro aspect of
Alabama is smart. I bet they knew.
No, you can't know
had
this.
a photographic memory.
No,
he probably told them before.
The last person
when
to
they
have,
came to check him out as high school, he was probably like, "Hey, I got photographic."
You can't say
memory.
that. No, because you. But like the last person to have a photographic memory in the NFL is Andrew Luck. He used to play for the Colts. Yeah. Used to play for the Colts. So Mac Jones is now, everyone believes that he's going 3rd overall. And in interviews, what they were doing is they were giving him scenarios, potential plays that they might run 1 week. And then 4 weeks, a month, 2 months later, they were following up and asking him questions on those plays. And he was giving the most detailed recall possible on this. Now, he hasn't taken the Goldman test. Like, he has not taken that other test that Fields has taken. So No, you don't have to. You would want to if, the scores are highly reliable, which just means it's telling you what it's saying.
He can do it.
Yeah, so it's really cool with Mac Jones potentially going 3rd overall. Is all you have to do is show him the playbook. All he has to do is look at film like 3 times, twice. Okay.
You wouldn't have to worry about him.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to worry about him on the learning side at all.
No, not at all. So it's with the amount of motions, like Alabama last season was running an NFL caliber offense. And that is strictly to do with the fact that Mac Jones could process these motions, these audibles all the time, and it was no problem to him. And it makes sense when you watch the Natty, when you saw he would always put his left foot back and suddenly he would see a player. Now this is just trying to try and figure out what the defense is doing. And he would automatically just hut in. It was just so quick. It was seamless.
He knew what he needed to do.
Yeah. So Mac Jones moved up to 3rd overall. So we still don't know where Justin Fields is going to go. He should be number 2, but he's
falling.
He could come to the Patriots and I'd be the happiest person in the world and I'd be super annoying next week.
How long did they re-sign Cam Newton for?
Just 1 year.
So then, yeah, that's a big possibility for them to pick up a quarterback, have them play under like Patrick Mahomes, have them play under the quarterback for a year, and then let them free.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you later on what you think your team's gonna do, because personally, my team, I believe they're gonna move up in the draft. They're gonna make a trade to move up, and if Fields is available, they're going for him. Otherwise, I think they go Devontae Smith, but. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what my team's going to do because we gave away our 1st-round pick. So clearly we're not looking for anything that's in that 1st round, right? So I don't know if we're just going to keep trading them away for things.
Well, you need defense. You need defense more than you need offense. And all of these players are typically offense that we're talking about.
I don't see us trading up in the 2nd round. Do we still have 2nd-round picks? I don't even know what our picks are. I'm more interested in the players entering the draft than where my NFL team stands in the draft.
Absolutely.
That's how bad it is.
Absolutely. Well, then let's get back to prospects.
I can't answer your question.
No, that's fair. We can go back to prospects. Well, the only other quarterback that I think we have to cover in terms of they're likely going pretty early on, or potentially going pretty early on Thursday night in the 1st round, is Trey Lance. Now, do you know much about Trey? He's pretty cool.
Not too much. I didn't watch a lot of North Dakota State games, but he was he's a name I've heard before. So I'm not surprised to see him on this list of quarterbacks. I think he's projected to go 10th overall.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's changed since I made that list. But
another rumor.
The last time I made this list, he was projected to go 11 slots higher than Mac Jones.
Yeah. So as of this past week, all the analysts that I'm reading and watching are saying that Trey Lance could be the 49ers' next quarterback too. Apparently, his 2nd pro day, the coach of the 49ers met with him as well as his parents. And apparently that meeting went fantastic. They're all riding high on Trey Lance. And I don't know this gentleman at all. I barely saw him play. I've seen him make maybe 4 or 5 throws. I watched some of his pro day and he looks up to snuff, but I don't know. And as of last
go
week,
watch some of his college highlights and it'll make sense. You'll understand why he's on, why we're talking about him today. He's good.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see this. I love when the player comes out of nowhere and goes high and does well.
I'm surprised that Ian Book isn't even a little further up on the list to the quarterback from Notre Dame. I also didn't even know he was entering the draft until a couple weeks ago. I thought he was coming back, but I think that was his last year. So he entered the draft and I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised to see him going lower, but I thought he would be someone people would be talking about. I haven't really heard anyone talking about Ian Book.
I maybe heard that name once in my life. And I think the only reason I heard that is because there was a draft overview and it just brought up a couple of names. And I was like, oh, I haven't heard that name before. Are there any other quarterbacks?
Yes. Do I have them on this list? No.
No, more so. I'm just thinking, are there any ones off at the top of your head that you could have thought of? But I guess not.
I think those are the big ones entering the draft. Those are the ones that are definitely going to go in the first few picks. Definitely all of them are going to go in the 1st round. So I'm just excited to see where they all end up. Because we know Trevor Lawrence is going to the Jaguars. It's just well, maybe this one will go here and maybe this one will go there. So it's going to be exciting to see where the rest of the quarterbacks end up and how that's going to affect the season to come.
Well, I think it's going to be, T-Law first, Zach Wilson second to the Jets, and probably Mac Jones to the 49ers. I think
See, I can't make a list because I can't decide.
I think it's that. I unfortunately think Justin Fields falls. I don't think he deserves it. And Trey Lance, I think he'll go early, but top 10 somewhere, I don't think I could
I think
pinpoint
he's fallen
exactly
since
where.
I made that list.
Yeah, I don't think I can pinpoint where Trey Lance will fall because I haven't seen much of him. So we've covered at least 3 of the top 5. Do we think a wide receiver's going in the top 5? Do we think a running back's going in the top 5? Or do we think a tight end's going in the top 5?
I don't know. I could see Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts going in at least the top 10.
All right, so tell me more about Jamar Chase.
Well, he's the wide receiver from LSU. When I made this list, he was ranked 5th. Is that still true? Is he still ranked 5th to go?
Yeah, mock drafts have him around 5, 6.
So I'd be going to Cincinnati, but I don't know if Cincinnati would take him because they picked up T. Higgins last year and he's doing great. So,
But they also just lost AJ Green. So you
yeah.
still need another playmaker out on the field, but they need an offensive line. I'm sorry. Did you see the scar on Joe Burrow's knee? You got to protect him and protect him quick.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they take Jamar Chase because they lost AJ Green, but that's not who they really need. So they'll probably pick up a defensive player with that. So will he go? I guess probably not in the top 5 then, but because I feel like the first few are going to be quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think
the first 3 are going to be quarterbacks.
Assuming that the draft order does not change on draft night. And by that, I mean there's likely going to be a situation where Atlanta Falcons, who are currently set to pick number 4, might trade back to maybe with the Patriots 15, and then the Pats would move up and draft at 4. So barring that being the case, I think the Falcons go tight end with Kyle Pitts. Now, he is a tight end out of Florida, and he has ranked number 4 on the ratings that you were looking at, the list that you provided. And he has
put this together like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, and him I only know because he has consistently come up as being the best player available in this league or in this draft. So much to the point where he has also come out and said that he wants to go after the records that are currently held by Gronkowski. And Gronk actually agreed that he could probably do it. Like this
Does that include the catching the football from the helicopter?
No, I did almost wear my jersey.
That record.
I almost had my Gronk jersey on, and I almost just put 600 across it instead because it was 600. Like it was so far up in the air.
For those who didn't see this past week, Gronk I can't say his last name.
Gronkowski
put he caught a football thrown from a helicopter that was 600 feet in the air. So
just because he wanted to.
Just because he can.
Yeah, it was pretty
What a
great.
guy.
It was pretty awesome.
He knows how to entertain.
So I think Kyle Pitts would go to the Falcons, and then that would make their offense terrifying.
Yeah.
And then, we covered what we believe or who we think Cincy would pick. We think it would be an offensive lineman, but they might go Jamar Chase. Miami Dolphins hold the 6th overall pick. And we asked on our Instagram page if you would take Najee Harris or Travis Etienne.
A lot of you broke my heart with this answer, just so you know.
Well, for that reason, I want you to, talk your boy up. Let's chat your boy up. Tell me about him.
No, Etienne is explosive. And he's very trustworthy. Like if I see him with the ball going down the field, like I'm just like, all right, we're fine. Like as long as he can break away from the defensive players, he's gone. He's a speedy guy. So like he's neck and neck with Harris from Alabama. So it's just a lot of people said that they would pick Harris over Etienne. And I respect that. I hate you, but I respect it. And you know what? If I didn't have a bias, I would probably pick Harris over Etienne too. He's like built just a little bit better. I don't know what it is, but like when you watch their highlights, like Harris just pushes it just a little bit more. It's like he has like a turbo button that Etienne doesn't have, and like he'll just flip. He flipped over a player and kept running. Like he didn't fall after that. Etienne hasn't ever done that. So it's just Harris is surprising. He's also reliable. They're both great. If you pick either or, you're going to be fine. So
do you think either of them? So they're ranked pretty far back at 35th, 36th. But do you think they have a chance at going higher up? I mean, Miami, Detroit, any of these teams. Now, I could argue the Lions need some other positions covered quickly first, but like they wouldn't go to the Panthers at 8th because you have McCaffrey at running back, so that's not happening. So I've heard just such great things about Harris and Etienne even 2 years ago, and I was shocked when I read that they might not even go in the first round.
Well, Etienne was eligible to join the draft last year, and he decided to play his senior year because in college, you can join the draft after your junior year. So you only need to play 3 years in college to be eligible for the draft. And he decided to stay, which arguably is the reason why the Clemson did so well this past year. We would have been in some hot water without him.
Yeah.
But like I think that also shows his dedication. I mean, I'm pretty sure Harris has been at Alabama his entire
I don't know
career. I can't say for certain, but I know Etienne has been there the whole time. He opted to stay a 4th year to play 1 more year. I don't know if it's just because he loved that program so much, or if he knew he would have, because I think he is going to go higher. If he went last year, I don't think he would go as high as he would this year. So I think he got 1 more year to show everyone what he truly can do. He's a bit more mature now as a senior student entering the draft. So I don't know. They're both great players. I can't talk about it anymore because I can't make a decision.
Can't make a decision.
I can't. It's just hurting. It's hurting my brain at this point. I like them both. Can I take them both? Package deal.
No, you can't take them both because they're the same player, just not.
Well, I'm going to say Etienne because I know him better. if you were a scout and you knew one person better than the other player, you'd probably pick them anyways. So
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely agree with you there. I think when it comes down to players being neck and neck or so close, yeah, if you've had an experience with one of these guys and not the other, you're going to go with the guy you've had an experience with because at some form you've been into battle with him. You've learned that you could rely on him and you know what his limitations are, which I always think is something that people don't look at. You always get blown away by all these stats these quarterbacks put up, and it's not until they're in the league and sitting behind someone that you start hearing, oh, but their middle pass accuracy is not great, or all these
Etienne can catch the ball. We know Etienne can catch the ball. So I'm not that's what I'm saying. I can rely on him. But at the same time, Harris comes with him a national championship.
Well, so doesn't Etienne. Didn't he win when Clemson won?
He won
3 years, 3 years ago.
I think he has 2. I know he won. No, just the one.
Yeah, he won with Lawrence
because he wasn't there when Watson was there. But yeah, he won with Lawrence when they were there in the first year. So yeah, I guess they do both come with. I guess
championship
Harris's
pedigree.
is more fresh, is more what I was saying. He's coming off of a national championship win. He has, he's also entering the draft with Devontae Smith, who is a Heisman winner. He's also entering it with the quarterback, Mac Jones. He's not that all 3 of those players are going to go to the same team, but it's I think it's hard to deny the talent coming out of Alabama. I think that's the point I'm trying to make, is that that's the weight he carries, is he's coming out of a program that runs like an NFL team.
Well, and speaking of Alabama, it's like Devontae Smith. Now, I've spoken about him throughout this episode. I'm absolutely infatuated by this wide receiver. And now it absolutely has everything to do with the fact that we just lost Edelman for the Patriots. So now my boy, my slot receiver's gone. I don't got anything there. I want that small wide receiver. I want that small.
Yeah. He's the Heisman winner for a reason.
Yeah.
It was him and Trevor Lawrence was the other one speculated to win it. And I mean, a lot of people asked me if I thought Trevor Lawrence was going to win it, and I don't think he deserved it in that last season. I think Devontae Smith absolutely deserved the Heisman.
Oh, yeah.
He was the first. He's the third non-quarterback from Alabama to win the Heisman. Before that was Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Won the Heisman as running back, and I think it was Mark Ingram was the other
That
one.
would make sense. I'm not positive
Mark
on that
Ingram was
one.
the other one, I'm pretty sure. I think if someone wants to correct me. But yeah, the last 3 non-quarterback Heisman winners have come out of Alabama. So again, another just like weight to it. Like I'm not surprised that there are so many Alabama players that go this high. Like I said, they're running a program like an NFL team.
Exactly why
it makes sense to take them.
I'm so pumped. Like, I would love, barring being able to get Justin Fields, being able to get Smith would be great. He's endorsed by Nick Saban, the coach of Alabama. Saban has even come out and said that Smith is one of his favorite, if not his favorite wide receiver to have ever coached. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't care at all about his size. You can put weight on. I don't care at all about his height.
No, he's going to be fine with his size. He's going to be he's going to be the new Tyreek Hill. It's probably going to be better than Tyreek Hill. I'll admit that. Like, he's a phenomenal player. I think it depends what team he goes to.
Yeah.
Maybe on Alabama, you could definitely see him being
for sure
on Tyreek Hill's level. It's definitely going to depend on what team he goes to. But yeah, he definitely deserved to win the Heisman over Trevor Lawrence. Not to say Trevor Lawrence was a bad player. That just wasn't his season. If you want to talk about Trevor Lawrence's freshman year when he went undefeated to win a national championship, I would have given the Heisman to that. But freshmen can't win Heisman. So.
Which is a BS rule, because definitely Lawrence deserved it then. But like Smith, I don't know. I think I compare him more to like a T.Y. Hilton at the Colts.
Yeah. I think it's just
going
to depend what team he goes to.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Because you can see how Tyreek Hill is explosive on the Chiefs because they can get the ball to him. Like, they have someone they have Patrick Mahomes who can get the ball to Tyreek Hill.
Exactly.
And then he does what he does best. So if they can find someone a team where he fits, like Tyreek Hill fits into the Chiefs, he's going to be a phenomenal NFL player. Break plenty of records in his rookie season.
Yeah, and I think the last draft prospect I guess we want to talk about, or I actually want to hear a little bit more about, is Jalen Waddle, because I've heard
also a wide
Chase,
receiver, also from Alabama.
Yeah, I've heard Chase, I've heard Smith, and then I've heard all the other Alabama boys. But Waddle is one who I hadn't missed.
If you watch college football, you would know. Like, you would. I hear this name when I'm not even looking at the screen.
Okay.
Like, he is a playmaker. He is great. I
versatile.
I like love watching him play, but I hate watching him play because he's on Alabama.
For
so
sure.
every time he does something good, I'm like, fuck. But yeah, he's really fun to watch. That's another one you need to go back and watch their game highlights for, because he can catch a ball.
So he goes after it. Is he one to be the long ball, or is he looking middle of the field and he's more physical?
I can't recall, because I tend to not watch Alabama games. I typically, they're just so popular. I assume, like, you just know they're going to win. It's almost like sometimes I won't watch a Clemson game because I know, like, if I have something else to do, it's just like, well, I know they're going to win, so I'm not going to watch it. So it's sort of like the same with Alabama. It's like, they're probably going to win. Like, I won't watch an Alabama game unless it's like a big game, if they're playing another top 10 school or something like that, or if it's an important game for the standings or whatever. But I can't say, I want to say I've seen him catch the long ball.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure he's
I'm trying to recall,
versatile.
but I just have Clemson memories coming back, so I can't tell.
No, that's fair.
But I do, from what I saw from him play while he was on Alabama, he's going to do really well in the NFL. So I'm excited.
I'm super excited to see this. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's episode. And thank you, everyone, once again, for all of your support. We do really appreciate it. Now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube. And look out for us on Spotify in the coming weeks. We're just going through a very long, tedious process with it, but hopefully we'll have more information and an update for you guys on when it will be on Spotify by next week. And next week we'll catch you where we'll be discussing the results of this year's draft and see if we are correct in where these quarterbacks all landed. Ooh, I can't wait.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys think is going to happen in the draft. We want to hear your predictions. So let us know who you think is going to go to what teams or what your predictions are. We want to hear them.
Very much so. Thank you very much for listening, guys.
Bye.
Take care. See you, buddy.
Listen in to Primetime Dimes every Wednesday for your latest on football.